Hello everyone, this is Jason. Real quick fucking video. I'm angry and I just want to get this out. The choice is Hillary Clinton, who is a war hawk, or Donald Trump, who is a war hawk. Never in history, never before in my time of watching politics have I seen two people who are trying to out-hawk each other this much. Not even in 2004, not 2008, certainly not in the 90s. Hillary is saber-rattling at Russia, Syria, Turkey, and China. A Democratic president, which I know Democrats go to war, Clinton, Obama, blah, blah, blah. But she is actually saber-rattling at China now. She's trying to become more hawkish. And Donald Trump is doing his whole thing against ISIS. How we should go in and, hey, I won't take nukes off the table in Iraq if I have to nuke my way to peace, which is, completely insane, completely irrational. And both of them are talking this way. And Hillary Clinton is doing it to nuclear powers, China, Russia. She's fighting with nuclear countries. And I believe this is happening for two reasons. All of this war talk, I believe, happens mainly for two reasons. First of all, the economy, it should be the priority. And the economy is awful right now for the working classes and lower middle classes. It's destroying them. But the people at the top, the economy is never bad. The rich and powerful, the economy is never bad. So they don't even worry about the economy. The economy has no relevance to them at all. Other than, how much more international they can get, how much they can lower their taxes, how they can get products free trade so there's no tariff costs, and all multinational corporations just sit at the top of all of this pyramid of fucked and collect all the money like a vacuum cleaner. And I believe that that's one of the reasons that you're hearing all this war talk, that they don't care. There should be a means test, not an age test, to run for president. Meaning if you're rich, you shouldn't be able to run for president. Just that simple. Even Congress, you should not be able to represent people if you're rich. Take money out of the system. We'd start there. Capitalism is the problem. We all know that. But rich people, we shouldn't be letting billionaires run against people who are worth $100 million. It's ridiculous. And because their interests are going to only be represented the people that make a lot of money. Rich people don't represent working class or middle class. They just don't do it. And Hillary Clinton's emails show her disdain for the middle classes, the lower classes, and especially the working class. Hillary Clinton fucking hates us. And you think Donald Trump feels any different? But no, let's worry about Donald Trump touching boobs and grabbing pussies and fucking shit that doesn't matter. And women and liberal women all over the country can get really outraged about that while they're not demanding that anybody talk about the fucking economy. Okay. So, and then the second reason I believe all this war talk is happening is because it is a great distraction from how bad the economy really is. Real unemployment is at about 20%. Okay? Not 5%, not 7%, not 8%, but about 20%. And that includes people who have just stopped trying to look for work in cash businesses or off the grid, don't collect unemployment insurance, and the census doesn't even count. And these numbers can be found through many different websites. These aren't liberal websites or conservative websites. These are actual business websites that will tell you what the real unemployment is. And so the Federal Reserve website does too as well. They are a great resource of information. They have all kinds of shit. They'll give you statistics on everything from corn yields to how much things cost in each city. It's pretty. If you're interested, that's someplace to go. But I digress. But one of the main reasons is that they're talking about all this war is because the economy is so fucking bad. The economy is so bad that we are stuck in a recession probably forever. We may never get out of it. And I think that all of this war discussion is because the two candidates, number one, they don't represent us. And number two, they're trying to distract us because they don't have any ideas to fix the economy. Because if they had the ideas to fix the economy are raising, if we don't scrap capitalism completely, which is what I advocate for, then you need to tax. And like I've said before in my last video, the idealized version of America is the 1950s. And that is because of FDR's America. It's because of FDR's tax rates to the rich. And yes, it has to do with post-World War II America, and manufacturing was picking up, and people and the GI Bill, and a lot of World War II veterans had a ton of money to spend, because they couldn't buy anything, because it wasn't like it is today where you could go, to go buy a bunch of crap at Walmart. It didn't exist. So there was a lot more money and savings and then disposable income as well. After World War II, we weren't rebuilding our base like Europe was, like the South Pacific and Asia was. We were not like Russia was. The biggest economies in the world have been ravaged after World War II, and not America's. So, Russia, they were rebuilding into the 60s and 70s, even later. So, that's why America flourished. That was one of the main reasons America flourished. And but the main reason Those are partially reasons, but the main reason was because the tax rates were so high for the rich. There were more social services, there were better roads, there were jobs for everybody, there was actual infrastructure and social services and things of that nature that weren't being reduced. People could put their kids into school. In some states, it was totally free to go to college. And that changed in certain places. When things became deregulated and for profit, that's when the economy started to slide, and that's when you inevitably started to have economic and political strife, and it started in the 60s. And then it's just gone, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse in this country. And it's funny to me, like I said, the idealized version of America is the 1950s for most conservative Republicans, and it's because of the high tax rates that rich people were paying. I mean, that's the main reason. Go look up FDR's tax rates; they were amazing. So and if you're gonna live in an economy that like America's, and you're gonna build the biggest economy in the world, then that's what you have to do. You have to tax the rich to a ridiculous degree, and that'll never happen. Thus, this is the end of capitalism. Because once you can't even tax people who are making record profits, and you can't increase their taxes without getting major pushback or it ever even happening, then we're done. You get that, right? I mean, that's one of the signs of the finish of capitalism in America in general. If you can't raise taxes on people who are already making record profits, you're fucked. You're just done. Your society is too bought and paid for. So that is the reason that this keeps going, and there is absolutely no end in sight to any of this. No end in sight, and that's why it's going to go down. There is nobody. Hillary Clinton in her emails, with her WikiLeaks emails, go look some of this shit up. The shit that she says about Bernie Sanders and Latinos and poor people and working class people, she is a shameful creature who I hope anything. I wouldn't advocate violence because I'll have the Secret Service at my fucking house. You know, I would never, and by the way, killing people is wrong on every fucking level, and hurting people and destroying lives like war, like the death and sending people to war in Iraq and Afghanistan, which nobody talks about. Afghanistan is America's longest running war. It's frustrating to me to listen to. Finally, we get to see the inner thoughts of a presidential candidate. And I don't care who's leaking these. Hillary Clinton has basically said these are true. She hasn't. Sidney Bloom, or what's his name? John Podesta has tried to say they were altered. They weren't altered. That's exactly what they think about us. The Democratic Party was taken over in the late 70s and 80s by Clinton, and Clinton wasn't there until the 90s, but they were Clinton Democrats. They were Reagan Democrats who became the head of the Democratic Party. Look at Lawrence Summers, for Christ's sake, and Robert Rubin, and even that little troll Robert Reich who goes around now and tells us how bad and I tried to tell Clinton, and fuck off. You and Joseph Stiglitz can go fuck yourselves. You were part of the problem when you were there. Where were you when you were inside the machine? Why didn't you do press conferences and tell us what was going on then? No, wait till afterwards so you can cozy up to the liberal sect and do the right thing after it's too late for you to do the right thing. Fuck off. That's why I don't listen to Robert Reich talk, because you were part of the problem, Joseph Stiglitz. You were part of the problem. And you didn't say anything while you were you didn't hold press conferences. You didn't do anything. Fuck off. Fuck yourself. You didn't start a political party. You just kept supporting the Clintons, and you kept supporting power. And now you don't, or do, or what? Fuck off. So my point with all this is never-ending war is a distraction for the economy, and you're being promised by both presidential candidates. Neither one is even. They're both telling you, I am going to war. Hillary Clinton's just telegraphing it every day. She just did it again. And Donald Trump, he said it in the debate. I'm not taking the nuclear option off the table. Oh, what? You're going to nuke Iraq? Are you fucking nuts? But you're going to get one of these creatures, one of these Cthulhus. You're going to get one of these evil fucks, these baby eaters, as your president. Baby killers as your president. And they're telling you more war forever. No end in sight. That's the future of America. There's no future if that's the future. Thank you for listening, and God help us all.